Welcome to another episode of Wall Watch, where we see how women respond to hitting the wall. Today, I have a question for you guys. Before you made it to the age of 25, did you ever look at a 30 or 40-year-old woman and think to yourself, oh my gosh, I just got to have her? Well, I have a treat for you guys today, so make sure you comment your thoughts under this video. Now, something very interesting is going to happen in this video, and I'm just wondering, have you guys experienced this? Is she handling this gracefully, or is she bitter? Now, let's go ahead and get into this video. Wait, before we do that, let me introduce myself. My name is Bertrand. I am the coolest dude on the planet, and I'm your friend. Confidence and clarity is the goal for my channel, so here we go.
Don't you hate when you tell somebody something and they remind you of what you said, and you be a woman of your word and you got to keep your word? So I was this little boy that used to go to school with my kids.
Wait a minute. A lot of women are not keeping their word today, so let's start there. I mean, I know we want to start somewhere else, but let's start there.
His little Romeo, and I just watched him. He was polite and nice, always just there, take out the trash, give me a little hug. I remember watching him at prom, and I said, you are so cute. You know what? When you get 25, if I'm still alive, you come see me. Why that boy knock on my door the other day? And he was like, Miss A. Marie, you remember me? I said, yeah. He said, I'll be 25 tomorrow my birthday. You remember what you said? I said, you remember that? He's
knock, knock, knock. Of what? Are you sick? Come on now. Listen. When you are under the age of 25,
say yes. I remember it. I thought about it every day. I said, is that right? I said, you know what? I am a woman of my word. I can't say something to it. But bring your birth certificate and stop by tomorrow on your birthday, and I got some birthday cake. Hey, I'm a woman of my word.
Oh, hey, oh my gosh. Birthday cake, woman of her word, birth certificate. Make sure you bring the party hats, because this woman is going to knock your socks off. This woman is going to blow your mind. But before you know it, you will be doing more housework. Then that's going to turn into yard work. And then somehow you're going to end up in a relationship and then married. Well, maybe I should speak for myself, because this is what happened to me. Now, let me say this. I have been in this situation a whole bunch of times, and the majority of the time the women did not request or ask that I was 25. In fact, they just wanted me to be available. Now, I say that to say this: when it comes to dating older women as a young man, this is a huge ego boost, because you just got treasure. Like, this is treasure. I mean, when we look at this woman and we see what she's bringing, I don't think most of us are thinking about cake. In fact, I think most of us are thinking about breast milk, because milk does a body good. Now, I have a question though. We all see this woman. Why is this woman still single? Well, this was a question that got answered as I got older. This is something I started to realize as I got older. Now, the reason why I learned this lesson when I got older was because I didn't realize that I was being controlled or manipulated through sex. As a young man, you can be controlled and manipulated through sex, because when you're dealing with an older woman who's had a whole bunch of practice, who's had a whole bunch of experiences, this woman is now willing to do things that she didn't do before. Now she's going to introduce you to some things, or give you the fantasies that you're actually looking to get. Maybe, once again, I may just be speaking for myself, but women from the age of about 28 to about 35, 36, oh my gosh, they are going to knock your socks off, because this is typically when you hear a woman start saying that she's going to be intentional, or she's tired of the guy that she's with. This age is dangerous, because this is when a woman really starts to change. You guys hear me talk about a woman, dealing with a woman when she's going through her monthly cycle, postpartum, and menopause, well, let me give you guys a little bit of tip here. This is when you're going to experience the most hormonal changes with this woman around this age or around these ages. But let me tell you, she's going to draw you in with the sex. Now, I want to say that this woman is handling this with grace because she's smiling and she's pleasant. She sounds polite. She sounds like the type of woman that you would want to put in the wife category, at least me personally. But again, I've learned my lesson. Now, here's another lesson that I've learned. The beginning of the relationship is usually the best part, okay? So what that means is this: what comes after that? Well, you better start looking at her personality and how she handles problems, how she looks at the world, and what she's actually doing. Because once the newness of the relationship wears off, you are going to be introduced to hell.
It would trigger him to come back at me with things where I was like, what the fuck do you think you are?
Okay? Hell. Now, I'm not saying this for all women, but for the majority of women, or at least the majority of women that I've dealt with or had an interaction with, I could tell you that the sweet, tender age of 30 to 35 is when you're going to experience some changes within that woman, because in her mind, she's looking at herself and she's seeing that her hair is turning gray. She sees that her boobs are starting to droop. She sees that it's not as easy for her to get that weight off as it was when she was a little bit younger. And that's assuming she hasn't given up. Because of the miracles of modern science, women have been able to extend out their beauty time, right? Like, we can look at this woman right here and say, oh my gosh, like, look at those breasts. Oh my goodness, right? Women, especially older women, they understand exactly what you're looking at, because that's how they're drawing you in the first place. And you got to remember this: they might not even want the guys their age, because some of those guys have let themselves go. Now, here's the opposite side of that. Some of those guys realize, you know what? No, I see what you up to. I see what your personality is, and I'm not interested, right? So the woman, that doesn't stop her from wanting intimacy and romance and wanting somebody to be there. So what is she going to do? Well, she's going to start looking at her younger options. Fellas, this is why I built this channel. This is why I'm here to inform you. Get your life together. I will say this: me dealing with older women, I learned even more lessons, right? Because when you're dealing with an older woman, they start to understand finances, well, at least the ones I was dealing with, right? So they introduced me to credit, to business, to thinking financially, right? Because when I was in my 20s, of course, you know, I was a little bit wild. I was out in the streets doing my thing. But what I'm saying is, some of these women are dealing with so many different types of men to where they don't have any choice but to soak up the game and the knowledge that they're around. And once they do that, they pass it on to the younger guy, because they're hoping that they can get that guy into a position where he can stop her from working, or he can take over with the bills, because she's helped him to improve his credit. She's helped him to think more business, and she's helped him to become just a better financially stable man. So that's what that woman is actually looking for. Look, I have no problems with this woman whatsoever. In fact, I'll say this: based on this video alone, this woman seems pleasant. So I would say it sounds like she's handling this gracefully. Granted, I get it. I don't see any gray hairs, which shows me that she's giving you an illusion. But I mean, the breasts, oh my God. The first thing I was thinking is, milk does a body good. Oh my goodness. But fellas, focus on what you need to get done, because once you do that, the world opens up to you. Options open up to you. And this is something that I didn't realize until I started my journey, until I got focused, until I started to lock in on what I was doing. Things around me started to change. And once I noticed that change, I said, you know what? I got to go further. I got to do more. Right? And when I say do more, I have to do more than what I was doing. I have to challenge myself to get more things done. So I'm saying this just to make sure that you guys focus on what's important, and that's you. Because if we look at what's going on in dating, we see that things have completely changed. They have completely switched. And for guys like me, it feels like this was something that kind of like happened overnight, because we remember the days before Instagram, before TikTok, right? There was a point in time where Instagram and TikTok did not exist, but this scenario right here, it has always existed. Now, this is why I say adapt to dating, because dating's changed. So we have friends with benefits, situationships, flings. Now, let's just say that you do get into a relationship. More than likely, it's only going to last for a short period of time, because that woman, her attention span doesn't last very long. And as soon as she thinks that the relationship is about to be over, she's going to put one foot out the door and she's going to start looking at the other suitors. She's going to start looking at other men who could potentially be another option for her, or be another situation or situationship for her. So I say all this to get you guys to understand what to focus on: your mind, your body, and your finances. Meditate, read, exercise, and invest in things that give you a return. That way, eventually, when you make it to the retirement phase of life, now you get to enjoy life the way you see fit. Now, with all this being said, I got a question for you guys. What do you think? Have you ever been in this type of situation before? Let me know. Comment under this video. Remember, when you are watching these videos, you are becoming the best version of yourself. Now that this video is done, do me a huge favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and then I'll see you on the next one. Peace.